Welcome to it. This is the Special Furnace on your channel of choice, Muvi TV, the 21st of November in the year 2020, standing in for Innocent Fury IP. My name is Kelvin Dabula Chifoko. Now, my guest on the program is a spokesperson for a political party that is bubbling with confidence that come 2021, they are forming government. This is the spokesperson of the Democratic Party, DP, Madam Judith Kabemba. Madam, good evening and welcome to the Special Furnace.
Good evening, Mr. Kelvin. How has been your day?
So far, so good. We can't complain. We are pushing the files.
We thank God. I hope you have registered to vote.
Have you?
I have. I must have been one of the first Zambians that did register.
Okay.
Though with a lot of struggles, I must mention.
With a lot of struggles.
A lot of struggles. You won't believe that I had to be on the queue from 05 up to about 18. So you can look at how many hours of production are being lost just on the queues for registration. But I only hope that Zambians are going to endure, and I'm certain because you can see the levels of endurance in our people. Even with a lot of frustration, even with a lot of stress, people are saying we are going to register because we need to vote. Indeed,
people are saying we are going to endure and we make sure that we register to vote. Those of you that are joining us on the traditional channel, Muvi TV decoder, channel 1. Those of you that are using Top Star, yours is channel 104. Those of you that are joining us on social media, Facebook, yours is Ask Muvi. And remember to invite a friend and make sure that you drop us a comment on the topic of discussion and we'll be able to read your messages. Now, the topic of discussion is the governance situation and women. Madam Kabemba, let's start our discussion by looking at the political landscape. Now, has today's Zambian politics embraced the contribution or the value of women participation in governance and politics?
Well, let me start by mentioning that as a country, we have developed and moved quite well from a time where women were basically considered to be people that should work in the kitchen, people that should take care of children and all that. That is our responsibility as women. But by and large, I must mention that women were not regarded as stakeholders when it came to matters of national interest. As at today, I would say that most women have actually come to realize the potential that they carry and that bringing them to the fore would actually help develop this country. As a country, we are looking at 50-50 representation at all levels of decision making. And I must mention that we are actually doing very bad as a country in that regard. Because when you look at the numbers, for example, in Parliament, look at the numbers of women that are there. Look at the councils, the numbers of women that are there. You'll see that they leave much to be desired. And also, the issue of political violence has actually made a lot of women to shun politics. Because by nature, women are peaceful people. And so when subjected to political violence, as we have seen in this country, they tend to seek refuge in places that will not harm them and harm their family. And that also has contributed to this country losing out from what women are supposed to bring to the fore in this government. But I must mention that as Democratic Party, we have a deliberate policy. We have got what we are calling women 50 to the front. What we are saying is that in the leadership of President Harry Kalava, the women will be at the fore in leadership. And so even in our adoption, for all elections, the seats that we are going to have in 2021, you will see that the DP will actually field more women. The DP will field more women. And even when you look at our structure, for example, our national structure and every other structure in the party, you will see that we have more women in critical positions because, I mean, we want to show women and demonstrate that the potential that women carry, being embraced, will bring this country to order, because men and women are equal partners in development.
I know that you talked about issues of violence, but it's something that we'll talk about as the program unfolds. What else do you think has continued to hinder the number, or to hinder so that we continue having a low number of women participation in politics? You've mentioned, you've given an example of parliament and even our councils. What else do you think has continued to hinder women not to participate in governance as well as politics, apart from violence?
Well, we also need to appreciate that when you look at economic status, a comparison between women and men, you will find that men are more privileged than women when it comes to economic status. You see that when it comes to adoption time, mostly it is the men that will have the muscle, and the women will have less muscle. And due to that, political parties will opt to adopt men who have got money, because our campaigns now have become materialistic. So they look for men that have got the monies to spend in campaign. But also the issue of the grade 12 certificate, we also need to appreciate that we are coming from a background where the girl child was not so much regarded when it came to education. And so most of the women, up to about, maybe we would say the 90s and 2000s, were well not enlightened. And so that has given a lot of discouragement and a big challenge. But I must also be quick to point out that a lot of our women nowadays have gone back to school. Some are writing their GCE and all that, just to make sure that they acquire that grade 12. That should allow them to participate in decision making. But the other thing that I have observed, I think, is lack of political will from the leaders to be able to empower women and trust women with leadership. Okay? When you look at the current constitution, I think Article 69 of the Zambian Constitution empowers the Republican president to nominate up to 8 members of parliament. Now, I mean, look at history. How many women have been adopted, have been nominated during the nominations of the president? You find that it will be 1 or 2. And so that begins from the higher office, and it begins to come down, showing that there is lack of political will to empower the women. What we need to see is a situation where, for example, Article 69 empowers the president to nominate up to 8 members of parliament. Let us see a situation where deliberately the president should nominate 6 members and 2 should be men, because already we know that we already have a lot of men that would have been elected, for example, as MPs, and very few women. So why not give that privilege to the women? And I think as women, we are not asking to be babysitted. We are not asking to be nominated and put in positions because we are women. No, we are asking that because we are capable of delivering.
The Democratic Party is one of the political parties that was against Bill number 10. And in Bill number 10, there was a proposal for mixed member proportion, women representation, safer seats. As the Democratic Party, you've been against, and now Bill 10 is history. Don't you think you shot yourself in the foot?
No, we didn't.
You denied yourselves,
look,
because
Kelvin,
there was an opportunity
that
was presented to women.
No, look, that is why I'm saying the current constitution in its form is very capable of including the women in participation.
But that is with the powers. Those powers have been given to the president.
Can I just finish?
Yes.
Can I just finish? We've got the powers in Article 69 given to the president.
Yes.
Also in Article 45 of the Zambian Constitution, there is a clause where there is inclusion of all interest groups. That includes women, that includes the disabled. that includes the deaf and every person that is in that category. Now, we are coming from a situation where even having such rich laws in place, they have not been used. They have been neglected. What more are we looking for? If we have failed to implement Article 69, if we have failed to implement Article 45, what is it that is in Bill 10 that we are looking for? It should start with what we have. If we can use what we have, I think that is well and good. And I think for us as a party, yes, in Bill 10, there were clauses that we could look at and say, this is okay. But most of the clauses that were in Bill 10 were detrimental. Did we want deputy ministers back? As a country today, we have defaulted. We have failed to pay the loan. And we are saying, let us bring back deputy ministers. Where are we going to get the money to pay deputy ministers? Because deputy ministers means an increase in the budget allocation. Where was that money going to come from?
But those that are supporting Bill number 10 up to today are saying the opposition and those who are against Bill number 10, we told them, say, come, let us sit and see the way forward by removing the contentious clauses or proposals so that we remain with good proposals or come to a win-win situation. But you from the opposition refused, despite knowing that proportional representation and also safer seats for women was a good bill.
I think that is a misrepresentation of what the DP wanted. It is a misrepresentation.
What is it that the DP wanted?
From the beginning, as DP, we said, I think I was on this platform one time, and I asked to say, the people that were in the forefront of the discussion of Bill 10, like for example, from the PF, we had Honorable Munduvile, we had Honorable Tutwa, and we also had Honorable Given Lubinda. I think I gave them a challenge. I said, can we come on this platform, the PF and the DP, and we debate Bill 10? We wanted to bring to the nation the things that we were disagreeing with. And then they should have been there to defend, to justify as to why those things should have been there. It never happened. It never happened. So you can see that our colleagues knew that in the whole lot of Bill 10, there was just one contentious issue, which they wanted, okay? Just one contentious issue. It is the nomination of the president. Nothing more, nothing less. That is what they wanted. And so all these things that they were trying to bring in here and there were they were hideouts. The key thing is that they were looking for the nomination of the president. And so they brought in other issues. That is why we challenged them to say, let us sit and discuss and debate this matter as mature people, as intellectuals, so that when we are presenting something, we present something that is fully backed to the people of Zambia. But because it was hidden with a lot of selfishness, that is why that bill failed. I must mention that, well, the bill has failed.
Are you happy as Democratic Party?
Yes,
the bill failed?
Yes, we are very happy as Democratic Party that the bill has failed because the Patriotic Front wanted to dupe the people of Zambia for a second time using that bill. But thank God that it failed.
President Edgar Lungu and the people in the Patriotic Front are saying they don't know the kind of message that you're going to carry to the people out there. The women who ask you that you robbed us an opportunity to have safer seat. The disabled who ask you questions to say you robbed us an opportunity that was presented in Bill number 10. The church, Zambia is a Christian nation, that you've denied that preamble of having a clear message that Zambia is a Christian nation. And President Edgar Lungu, when he was in Central Province, he asked the people to say, I don't know if you're going to forgive the opposition.
I get surprised that some of the things that occupy the president's mind. I want to believe that as head of state, he's got a whole lot of serious issues to handle, and why he should preoccupy his mind with dealing with issues that he knows are neither here nor there. I don't know why, but I'm also posing a question to His Excellency President Lungu And my first question to him is that, Your Excellency President Lungu, from the time you were elected as president, how many women have you nominated to parliament using Article 69 of the Zambian Constitution? How many? I am posing that challenge to you because, Your Excellency, you are saying that the opposition has robbed the women. And I'm also asking, how many have you adopted, Your Excellency, using Article 69? I am also posing a challenge to His Excellency President Lungu using Article 45, which talks about inclusion of interest groups in governance. How many disabled have you appointed as ministers? How many people that are deaf, people that are dumb, have you included in your cabinet, Your Excellency? We wait for that answer. Once His Excellency has given us his statistics from the time he was elected in 2015 till now, then we can be able to talk about that. For now, I think it is not a matter to discuss.
Many other times that even you mentioned that political will from political parties is what has hindered the numbers of women participation in politics and governance to grow. But again, Zambians are saying women don't support each other. We have a political party that has been headed by a woman for years, and this woman has been participating in elections. But it seems women don't want to support each other. If you did, we would have produced a female president.
I think I did mention that as women, we are not asking to be appointed or to be elected on the basis that we are women.
And you're not ready to support each other?
Let me just finish. We are not going to sit as women and begin crying. No, I'm Judith Kabemba, I'm a woman, and so please appoint me this and this. No, 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 no. It is supposed to be on KPIs. As a woman, am I able to deliver? As a woman, am I able to lead? It's supposed to be on merit. It's supposed to be on merit. And my argument is that Zambia today has got brains in women. Zambia today has got intellectuals in women. It is those brains that we are looking for. I mean, obviously, Madam Nawakwi has been contesting as a president, and if she has gone to the women and told the women an exact message, what she wants to do, what she wants to deliver as president, I'm sure that the women would have given a chance. But I think from my end, when I read about Madam Nawakwi currently, all I'm seeing are court issues between her and HH. So, I mean, Zambians are looking for quality. Zambians are looking for brains. Zambians are looking for ideologies. We don't have time to be fighting and gossiping and here. We don't have that time. We are looking for women that should stand on the platform and tell us what they are going to do. I am contesting as MP for Nchanga, I must mention. And every time that I have appeared on a radio program in Nchanga, I have been telling the people of Nchanga what I will do for them. I am here as a woman, obviously, to tell the nation what the Democratic Party will do. That is what we are looking for in women. We are tired of the gossip and all this. We are looking for women with a substance.
Do you think, as women, you are ready to stand for each other?
We are very ready, and that we are doing. I mean, we've got a national secretary in our party who is a woman. We are supporting her. There is myself as spokesperson of the party, a woman, and my fellow women are supporting me. So, as Democratic Party, we don't have such issues.
I'm having difficulties in believing what you are saying. You've said when you look at Madam Nawakwi, all you see are fights, court issues between her and Akainde Ichidema, and women, even men like me, expected you to stand with your fellow woman. Also, we have seen of late or recently, Shamenson, the losing candidate for Chilanga, was attacked by men. And women are nowhere to be seen. You're not speaking. You're not standing to defend your fellow woman. No. You're not standing to protest to say, we don't need such.
I don't think that is true. I think when Charmaine was attacked in Chilanga, I must mention that as Democratic Party, we were, I don't know, maybe the first or the second political party to make sure that we made
as a political party, not as women.
No. Look, we are here let me say that I'm here as a woman, as well as representing a political party.
Yes.
And so the status I'm giving is a status that we are embarking on as a party in women. Okay? So a fellow woman was attacked, okay? And as women, we took that stance to make sure that we checked what was happening in Chilanga. And I think I was one of the people that called Chilanga police to just find out and make sure that those people should be arrested. So for us as DP, I must mention that we want to preoccupy our minds, our work with ideologies, with ideas that are going to take the country forward. And so like I mentioned, for President Nawakwi, her job as a woman should be to go to the people, to the voters, and tell them what she will do. And the women will listen to her.
And you cannot stand and say, women, we have our fellow, we have our very own, let us support her.
Well,
you can't do that.
Support is...
It has to start, it has to come from...
I have to agree. I have to agree with what she's saying.
Is it easy for you to agree with what your fellow woman is saying?
If she's talking about policies, for example, the policies that President Harry Kalaba has just come on the scene. He was minister, and when he was minister, Madam Nawakwi was already president. And so if she had produced ideologies that would have convinced me as a woman, I would have joined. But, what I'm looking for in a president, particularly, I am not only looking for a woman, but I am looking for a woman that will be able to deliver to the people of Zambia. And for me, at this particular time, what I am looking for the people of Zambia is in President Harry Kalaba.
Recently, you had a convention.
Yeah.
As the Democratic Party, and we saw the president, the incumbent, going unopposed. Are you saying you don't have women with brains, women to challenge Harry Kalaba?
Well, you need to also understand that when it comes to issues of presidents, it has to be the person, the vision carrier. And so as women, as a political party, at this particular moment, the person we identified is President Harry Kalaba. Okay? And we didn't have a woman that contested. And we had a woman that contested and probably had other ideologies better than President Kalaba, would have supported her. But today, currently, we supported President Harry Kalaba because, he's the one with the vision that we want.
When you say currently, there was no woman, there was nobody to challenge Harry Kalaba.
Nobody stood up.
Nobody stood up.
Yes.
Can we safely say that if President Harry Kalaba today decide to say, I'm no longer the president of DP and I'm not going to contest 2021, that means that's the end because DP has got no replacement. It has got no one to take over.
No. That is not what I mean. If President Harry Kalaba today stepped down.
That's when you start
God forbid. I know that he will not do that.
But in an event he does
In an event he does that. I am also here.
But
I can contest as president.
Why didn't you contest?
For now, I am supporting President Harry Kalaba. For now, I am supporting President Harry Kalaba. But should it happen that President Harry Kalaba steps down like you are putting it, even I, Judith Kabemba, would contest as party president. I'm sure there are also other women in the party. We've got Marjorie Mutaka, we've got Precious Ntambu. We also have men that can contest. So
men
for us,
and women who are not ready to challenge
for
him at the
us,
convention.
No. For us, it is not only about gender. It is not only about gender. It is about what that gender is carrying for that particular time. And this particular time, the person we want to support, the person the Zambians want to support is President Harry Kalaba for president of Zambia.
Your president, and including...
And your president, Harry Kalaba.
Your president, Harry Kalaba, including other members of the DP, have continued babbling with confidence to say, come 2021, DP is forming government. Now, from reading a message, and people are asking, what is DP? Is it a political party? You've not participated in any by-election, and yet you are saying you are winning the 2021 general elections. Others are arguing to say the popularity of a political party is tested in a by-election. Why is it that you've continued to shun by-elections and yet you've continued babbling with confidence that come 2021 you are going to form government when your popularity has not been tested?
Let me mention that come 2021, DP is forming
There
government.
you go again.
And President Harry Kalaba is coming in as the 7th Republican president
When your
of
popularity
Zambia.
has not been tested.
Listen, by-election are not a litmus paper to who is popular and who is not popular. We have seen political parties that have been participating in by-elections since time immemorial. Have they formed government? They have not. Have they? The answer is no. By-election after by-election after by-election after when general elections come, they have not gone through. Even the MMD, we saw before 2011, they were winning by-elections. Each by-election that came, they would win. But when the general elections came in 2011, did they win? No, they didn't win. So for us as Democratic Party, when we look at by-elections, I mean, by-elections are simply a waste of resources. Look, when there's a by-election, how much money is taken into that constituency whilst there are no medicines in the hospital?
Democracy is not cheap.
Whilst, I mean, it's not cheap, but it has to be done wisely. It has to be done wisely.
Now, there was a proposal in Bhutan and it was shut down
I mean, look.
to avoid by-elections.
No. Look, what we are talking about today is that's why at the beginning I mentioned that the same Bhutan had good clauses and bad clauses. So there was need to reach an agreement. Away from that, as DP, we find by-elections to be are not progressive because there is nothing that comes out of by-elections apart from vote buying, violence, just wasting money from the treasury. There is nothing. So when we form government as DP, by-elections will be a thing of the past. They'll be a thing of the past. You will not see by-elections. Coming to winning elections, as Democratic Party, we believe that winning elections is and starts with the particular political party going to the voters and talking to them, selling their ideologies, and then the people will vote for you. And that is what we have been doing. We have been going to the grassroots. We have been campaigning. We have been telling the people what we are going to do. And the people have accepted us. Let me mention on this program, Kelvin. Today is the 21st of November. Mark that on your calendar. That President Harry Kalaba, 2021, is President of the Republic of Zambia. I know chile moneka kwati chiloto. Chile moneka kwati bufi. But abena Zambia wakatolo mupamba. Because icho chika chitika. The Zambians want change. The Zambians want leadership. And the leadership that the Zambians are looking for is the leadership of President Harry Kalaba. So abo bonsaba leta alikabo. Alabakatolo mupamba.
You've used that Bemba saying of Ukutolo Mpamba. Does it mean even you as a DP spokesperson, you don't believe that Harry Kalaba is going to form government? When you
No.
Zambians Wakatolo Mpamba,
Those,
if they have believed in Harry Kalaba,
those that
if they
are
are following Harry Kalaba and they're saying they are going to vote for him, how come they
those that
Tolo
are
Mpamba?
those that are refusing, I was very categorical. Those that are refusing, those that are in government, who are thinking that come 2021 they are still retaining power. Alabakatolo mupamba, bakatolo mupamba watolele chibale, because for them they are thinking they are still popular. They are thinking they will win. So when that happens, then they will realize, we didn't see this coming. Because the Zambian people today, I must tell you, Kelvin, that the Zambian people today, the same Donch Kubeba that was used in 2011 is what is going to be used even in 2021. I think it should have been yesterday. I was going into town and I met a taxi driver, and the taxi driver says, Madam, have you registered to vote? And I said, yes. And he said, yes, let's make sure we register so that we can change government. And when I looked at this car, this guy had a PF Chitenge on his dashboard. So I asked him, I said, We are changing government from which to which by PF. And you know what he told me? He simply said, Madam, it is just a passage. We are using it for now. Because in the stations where we are working, if you don't have a PF Chitenge, then you'll be manhandled. And so we are using this as a donch kubeba. So you can imagine how many people are using. And that's why we are telling the Zambian people, if these people bring money, go and get. If they bring KG to go and dance, go there and enjoy. Come 2021, tukakande ya diamani. It will be Democratic Party, because the Zambian people are looking for a political party that is going to bring ideologies. Today, Kelvin, as a party, we are saying we want to venture into industrialization when we form government. Industrialization will help this country in creating creation of jobs, will help this country in gaining more forex, because we don't have any export that is going on. And that's why we are even defaulting these Eurobonds, because we are only depending on imports rather than exporting. And so the Zambian people are looking for a political party that will bring industrialization, a political party that will venture into manufacturing. As Democratic Party, we are looking at Mulungushi Textile, that sleeping giant there. And we are saying when we form government, I'm not saying if, I'm saying when we form government in 2021, that Mulungushi Textiles will begin to produce. And that money will be used even to repay the careless loans that our colleagues have borrowed.
It is good, and I'm happy that you've continued to say Zambian people, referring to Zambian people, because at the end of the day, come 2021, the people that are going to have a say are Zambian people, as they are going to exercise their rights to vote. The same Zambian people are saying they are not ready to recycle a politician. They are not ready to vote for someone who has served in government before. President Hari Kalaba was former foreign affairs minister. He campaigned for Edgar Chagwa Lungu in 2015 as well as 2016. How does it make you feel when you hear sentiments or statements from people say, we are not ready to vote for people, we want new blood?
Well, I must mention to you that when people are talking about recycled politicians, they're not actually referring to President Hari Kalaba. If you ask, let me finish. If you ask them, they'll tell you that they're not referring to President Hari Kalaba. Why do I say so? Let me begin with the fact that you've mentioned that President Hari Kalaba was in the PF and he campaigned for President Lungu. Yes, he was in the PF, proud PF. He campaigned for President Edgar Lungu proudly because he actually thought that having worked with Mr. Sata, having moved with Mr. Sata, President Lungu must have learned one or two things on how to lead people. But, you know, as the Bembas say, ngakula sanikwa, he would have not done that. And I think President Hari Kalaba has taken a very bold step to apologize to the people of Zambia and say, I campaigned for President Lungu and all this because I believed that he was going to deliver to the people of Zambia. But what wise people do, what wise men do, is what President Hari Kalaba did. When he saw that the codes of governance that had bounded them together were broken, when he saw that the covenant, the agreements that were made to save the people of Zambia were broken, when he saw that people enjoyed more of Jameson, more of T-bone, more of whatever, rather than providing medicines in the hospital, rather than putting equipment in laboratories and schools, when he saw that people were more preoccupied with getting kickbacks from the Chinese people, he decided to quit. He said, I cannot go on in this trajectory. You must confess, and everybody will agree with me, that President Hari Kalaba is a young man and was a very young man at that particular time. It is very unfashionable for a young man of his age to give up a position of foreign affairs minister. Many in his shoes would have decided to keep quiet and continue eating in the background. But he said, come on, even outside a cabinet, there is still dignity. namubuchushi bwine alamwaliba ukuchindama. He decided to quit so that he can save the people of Zambia. His joining of politics was to save the people of Zambia. And so he thought that he was going to use the Patriotic Front as a platform where he could save the people of Zambia. But the head could not give him that opportunity. And therefore he resigned.
And he couldn't influence the head.
I mean, look, he can only influence to a certain level. Even the Bible says, when you go to them, you tell them, if they don't agree with you, leave them, wash their hands, lest you also become a leper. So he tried his best. Many times, when he moved from place to place, you have heard him speak on radios and TVs. When he moved with President Edgar Lungu, he would tell him, Your Excellency, this is not right. Your Excellency, can we do that? But you know how it is when somebody is drunk with power.
If Harry
it
Kalaba is
very
not a
difficult.
recycled politician, then according to you and according to TP, who is a recycled politician?
Well, a recycled politician. Obviously, I would say the people that have been in government and, no, let me finish my statement. They've been in government, and on them, he's a whole load of how many things they have stolen from the people of Zambia, how many corruption cases they have. That would describe that this person is not fit to go into government. For President Harry Kalaba, he resigned on moral grounds. He was not fired, for God's sake. He decided to resign and say, I don't want to be in this dirty group. Let me do what I have been called for in dignity and in respect.
Madam Kabemba, so if someone is in government today, he has served in government, he decides, let me give an example. You are in DP today. If DP forms government in 2021, you serve with them, then 3 years, you resign, you form your own or you join another political party. 2 years, you resign and form your own political party. Are you going to be a recycled politician, or you're going to be a politician who resigned because you couldn't stand the pressure of corruption?
It is the basis on which someone resigns. The example you are giving me, I would refer it to the church. Today we've got a lot of churches that have mushroomed. And when you ask the pastors and the bishop, they will tell you that this person formed a church because they did something wrong, and so they were called by the bishops and the pastors. They wanted to discipline them and tell them that what you're doing is wrong. But because they were not ready to face the consequences of what they did, they decided to break away and go and form a church. So there is a person who has started a church because it is their calling. There is also a person who has started a church because it is a breakaway. They did something wrong, and so the church wanted to discipline them, and they go and form a political party. So when you look at the two people, definitely you will see that here there is a calling. Here, there's just a person who is just not listening to other people. And so for President Harry Kalaba, I must say that it is ordained. It is his destiny to lead Zambia and lead Zambia in 2021. And so the wise thing that a wise man would have done in his position is to resign and start up something clean.
So when you resign and start up something clean, you're not a recycled politician?
Recycled from what to what?
From PF to DP?
No. You've only moved from a dirty camp into a clean camp because there would be contaminated and become a leper. Imagine if President Harry Kalaba had stayed in the PF up to now, quiet, what could have happened? You would have been in the group of people that are doing all the wrong things.
Madam Kabemba, is President Kalaba the only clean man? Or are you able to point, or are you able to say on this program, to say, even within PF, there are people who are clean, but they have continued in PF, and they have not left PF, but they are still clean?
I'll tell you something. The Patriotic Front has got a lot of men and women that are not happy with what is happening.
They are still in PF?
They are still in PF. And what they are saying is that, wait, let Parliament be dissolved.
Are they good people?
Yeah, they are good people because they are not participating. They
so
are not
Harry
participating.
Kalaba could have remained in PF, he remained to be a good person
There are
and not participating.
there are two different callings here. You need to understand the calling and the mantle that a person carries. President Harry Kalaba carries the mantle to lead this country next year. And so his resignation could have not waited. It could have not waited because the people of Zambia were praying to God that we need that man. And so God had to bring him there.
And God had to answer then. God couldn't wait to say, okay, just wait for Parliament to be dissolved. Then
No.
because he has a man, he can still stand and you vote for him.
He had work to do. He had work to do. A lot of grassroots work to do. He had work to do.
So those good people that have remained in PF have got no work to do.
No. It's about their calling. Are they called to be president? We are talking about President Harry Kalaba here, who is called to be president in 2021. They may be called as well to be president, but specifically maybe not for 2021, maybe for 2026 or 2031. And so they still have some time. But for him, this is an emergency landing. The country is in ICU. The people of Zambia are looking for leadership, and the leader is President Harry Kalaba.
In the book of Exodus, God said, I've called you Moses and I'm calling your brother. So can we say the people that are clean, the people, good people in PF, yes, they are not going to be presidents, but they can help Harry Kalaba.
God called President Harry Kalaba. He called me. I'm here with him. He called Chairman Nzoa. He's with him. I mean, he called DNS Chintu, and he's with him. So there are people that are supposed to surround a leader at a particular time for a particular purpose. Even for them, when their time comes for their specific task, they will come.
And
for now.
And they can surround President Harry Kalaba.
As long as they are clean people.
Let's talk about Zambia defaulting. I know that you talked about it, say we are in a mess. No wonder they are failing to pay. Yes, we've defaulted, but before that, the Vice President said Zambia is not ready to default. But again, we saw a statement that followed from the Minister of Finance, said, yes, we've defaulted because there are people that we owe, or there are institutions that we owe, and it could have not been wise for us to pay the other and leave out the other. Are there any repercussions now that we've defaulted? Because it's an open secret.
Yeah.
Are there any repercussions? And if there are any repercussions, what is it that DP intends to do? As you've continued to say, come 2021, you are forming government. You're forming a government, or you are taking over a government that has defaulted and full of debt.
Well, I must start by mentioning that it's very unfortunate that Zambia is in this debt. Zambia is in this mess, because had our colleagues listened to us, I think we would have not been where we are today, because a lot of people talked and people said, come on, we have reached a threshold of the borrowing. Can we stop borrowing? And also, to make matters worse, the borrowing that was being done was we were not investing such that those investment would start repaying the loans. But what we saw being used was construction of disposable roads, construction of disposable bridges, and kickbacks going into people's pockets and all that. The statement by the vice presidents, I think for us as DP now, when our friends speak, we actually wait, because there's too much inconsistency in what they say. Today they will say this, tomorrow they will do the other thing. Why? Because their house is not in order. When you look at the amount of money that has been defaulted, I think that's about $42.5 million. Now, how much did we buy one fire takataka, those fire wheelbarrows? One fire, the fire tenders, you call them, they're fire takatakas. Those fire takatakas, one was going at 42 million. You see what I mean?
42 or 1 million?
1 million, sorry. And we spent 42 million on things that are not even working. things that are not even doing anything better, because we've seen fires start and those fire takatakas are taken there and they fail to put out the fire. Shouldn't we have used that money wisely? So the repercussions are quite very huge. I mean, first of all, when we begin from an individual, even you as an individual, when you borrow money and you fail to pay, there are repercussions. Because one, there will be no trust anymore from the people that lend the monies. As a country today, we are battling with a bad name of corruption. Nobody trusts us because everyone is thinking if you give them, they'll misappropriate the money. Now, today we also have another tag of failing to pay the interest. And I think people should understand that it is not actually the loan itself, because people are thinking it's a loan. It is not even the loan, because that loan matures in, should be August 2020, and it is a bullet payment. What we needed to pay now was the interest.
The coupon payment.
And that is what we have defaulted. We saw the head of state ask for is it 6 months to say let's pay in April, and the bond owner said no, we are not going to do that. So that simply means that there is no trust. Zambia will not be trusted to borrow money from anywhere else at a commercial rate. Will not be trusted. This also simply means that the budget, our budget, will continue to be pressed. Because where are we going to get the money to pay back? And also, you need to understand that the owners of the money have a right to even take us into court. Because today I must mention that we don't even know the terms of agreement under which the Zambian government has borrowed all this money from the Chinese Exim Bank, or the Exim Bank of China, as they call it. We don't know how, what agreement they have entered into. The people have been asking. And so, as Democratic Party, we are asking the government of the Republic of Zambia under President Edgar Chagwa Lungu to tell the people of Zambia what are the terms and conditions of the loans. What is the collateral in these loans? What is it that we have put on the table to say that if we fail to pay, this is what you people can take? Because believe you me, if we are not careful, very soon we will find that we will lose sovereignty. We will lose sovereignty. We need to understand that this money that was borrowed, first of all, it has been invested in airports. It has been invested in the digital migration. It has been invested in the refurbishment of the Mainasoko hospital. So part of this money has gone into key issues that Zambia's assets, I must say, Zambia's assets, it's gone there. And today, we don't know which one of these assets is a collateral. Tomorrow we'll wake up and we'll hear that the mines have been taken by these owners. We'll hear that Zamtel has been taken. We'll hear that Zesco has been taken. What are we going to do? And so we need the government. I am challenging the government on this program that they should come out and tell the people of Zambia, because where we have reached, because everything is in the light. So the government of the Republic of Zambia should tell the people of Zambia to say, this is how much we have borrowed, and this is what we use as a collateral for this loan. So if we fail to pay, we expect that this is what the bond owners are going to collect.
Those that are in the government today, and even the vice president said the opposition has not been advising the government on how to borrow. But the statements that have been coming from the opposition, those are teasing statements. And up to now, we are still saying you need government to tell you. But I posed the question to say, what plans do you have as DP to settle out the debt?
I'll tell you something. Who led that abamucheba kukanwa? So those statements that are coming from the vice presidents, no, the opposition is not telling us, those are simply crying statements because they have messed up. How many times as opposition told government on what they're supposed to do and they don't want to listen? How many times have we heard senior government officials say that wakala umfwa kufia baleland? How many times have we heard when people say this is this and people say utupubatule susha? How many times have we heard such statements? What are those statements telling us? They are telling us that people don't want to listen to what they are saying. And so they have put this country in a mess. The only thing that we need to do is, first of all, to get them out of power in 2021. We bring in the leadership of President Harry Kalaba. And when we form government as Democratic Party, we are going to inherit a government with so much Congolese. But, like I mentioned here, our party is going to zero in into manufacturing. Our party is going to zero in into industrialization. Today, this country has got Mukula. We've got Mukula. Mukula has the capacity. It has the capacity to bring a lot of income in this country. That Mukula you are seeing, that is where they make those chopsticks that the Chinese used to eat. Now look at the Chinese population. If we open an industry to make chopsticks and we begin to export to China, how much money are we going to be making? A lot of money. Zambia today is blessed with so much fruits. Go to Northwestern Province. You find a lot of fruits that are just rotting there. As Democratic Party, we are saying we are going to get into industrialization. We'll open up industries of making juices and we'll be exporting those juices. We've got copper in this country. We've got gold in this country, which is being exported in raw form. When we form in government as DP in 2021, we are going to make sure that some of the copper that we'll be mining, we will be making finished products from there and we export.
How are you going to do that knowing that you are going to inherit a government that is broke and that is owing?
I mean, look, it is about, it's about plans. It's about strategies. Today, this government
having plans without money.
No, look.
Executing plans when you are defaulting and owing.
Look, even if today the government doesn't have money in the treasury, you see? Why? Because they are spending carelessly. They are spending for wrong reasons. Had the government invested in the Mulungushi textiles, today there's going to be money that was going to be coming out from there. Had the government invested in industrialization, today the government would have been getting money from those industries. But because there is nothing that is coming in, we are only taking out. That is why we are. That is why we are where we are. And so our government will be a government of making sure that we make right decisions for the people of Zambia. And the way to go for this country is manufacturing, is industrialization, is diversification. Look at how many years we have been talking about diversification from mining into agriculture. There is nothing that is happening. There is nothing. Zambia is blessed with good soil, good climate, good rainfall. We've got the ZNS. ZNS has got a lot of machinery. All they need is an enabling environment, and they'll be able to cultivate all year round, and we'll be able to have a lot of maize that we are going to be exporting. Zambia has got an open door opportunity with the DRC. DRC there. Look at how much millimil they want. Zambia can feed Congo, just Zambia. We can grow maize and we feed Congo and we'll be able to get a lot of money from there. But what is happening? In this current government, we are only seeing ministers involving themselves in millimil smuggling instead of taking advantage of that business that is in Congo, cultivating maize and exporting there. It is not happening.
Madam Kabemba.
Saudi Arabia, Mr. Kelvin, is where they are today because of the sand they have. They started making windscreens. In this country, go to Western Province, we've got sand there. Sand, a lot of sand, which is not being used. As DP, we are looking at all these raw materials that the country has, and it is the raw materials that we have that we are going to use. We are going to invest in research and development, because a country that does not invest in research and development ends up where the PF has taken us.
As we are winding down, Madam Kabemba, second phase of voter registration is coming to an end. We were told through Parliament that in the first phase, 1.1 million managed to register. And you, in your preamble, you talked about spending hours just to get that voter's card. Are you happy at the pace at which the Electoral Commission of Zambia are conducting the voter registration? And do you think the Electoral Commission of Zambia will be able to hit the target of registering 9 million?
How can we be happy when people spend 8 hours, when people are sleeping on in queues? How can we be happy? What is happening this year has never happened in the history of this country. It has never happened. It is a right of every Zambian to register as a voter and subsequent to go and vote. But what the ECZ is doing is that they are depriving, they are taking away the rights of voting from the Zambian people by creating a defunct system that is not able to produce. Today, people are spending a lot of hours on the queues. That is not supposed to be the case. It is not supposed to be the case. The ECZ should restructure this program. The 9 million voters they are talking about to capture, they will not capture that. It is practically impossible. It is impossible. The last elections, ECZ had, was it 3 months registration? And they did not even manage to reach half of the number they wanted.
Extension?
What is supposed to happen is that, first of all, the current system should be restructured because it is not working. And because it is not working, the ECZ should come up with modalities, and one of the modalities is to do an extension. People should be given ample time, 3 months to register.
Not returning the old register.
The old register should be there.
Madam
Because,
Kabemba,
I mean, look, why have we scrapped off that register?
because there are people that have died.
If there are people that have died, why don't we go back and people do a checkup? People can do their checkup. This whole thing is a scam. We know what is going on. We know what people are trying to do. But I must mention that the Zambian people are waking up. If people are thinking that the Zambian people are still bathing like this, they stopped. They are now bathing like that. So people will not be cheated anymore.
Madam Kabemba, thank you so much for making an appearance on the Spatial Fairness, and wishing you all the best as you continue to battle with confidence that you're forming government in 2021.
Thank you very much. I hope you attend President Kalava's inauguration in August next year.
Well, we are here. This is our country.
Thank you.
This has been the special edition of The Fairness. Join Andrew tomorrow with the assignment. My name is Kelvin Dabula, Chief Focal. My guest, Judith Kabemba, Democratic Party spokesperson. Good night.